Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest when you look in the mirror and realize that the years are passing too quickly, that your energy is no longer the same, and the respect you used to have seems to slip through your fingers? After 50, fear hits hard. Fear of being forgotten, of losing your strength, of becoming just another person in the crowd, invisible, and without a voice. And the worst thing is to think that if nothing changes, this future may be closer than you imagine. I understand this feeling. Daniel felt this too, a man like you and me, who asked himself, am I still a real man? Can I still be respected, admired, desired? The answer, my friend, is yes. But what no one tells you is how to turn this around. In this video, I will show you the 5 secrets that transformed Daniel's life, and that can transform yours too. They are simple but profound attitudes that will reconnect you with your strength, your essence, and your value as a man. So stay with me until the end, because what I'm going to tell you could be the difference between disappearing or leaving your mark on the world. And before I continue, subscribe to the channel, because everything I bring here is made for men like you, who decided not to surrender to time but to be reborn with it. Shall we go? First, he learned to really listen, and that changed everything. There are pains that don't bleed, but they leave their mark. Pains that no one sees, but that scream inside. It was an ordinary afternoon, one of those with nothing special going on. Daniel was at his daughter's house. She had made coffee, sitting with him at the table, just like in the old days, but her gaze wasn't the same. He seemed tired, broken. She talked about work, fatigue, conflicts in her marriage. But before she could even finish a sentence, he was already there, trying to solve things. Daughter, you know what you should do. Oh, that's simple, just stop worrying. You're thinking too much. Relax. He thought he was helping. He thought he was being a good father, protective, experienced, guiding. But then she paused. She put the cup down carefully. She took a deep breath with tears in her eyes and said, Dad, I just wanted you to listen to me. And in that moment, everything stopped. It was like a punch, but without any noise, a truth that tore through the silence of the room and also tore through the thick skin he had created over the years. There, without realizing it, Daniel saw himself faced with all the times he had done this. With his daughter, with his wife, and with his friends, always wanting to be the one who solves the problem, the one who has the answer, the man who knows. But he understood. People weren't asking for solutions. They were asking for attention. They were asking for presence, a look that doesn't judge, a listening ear, a silence that embraces. That night, Daniel didn't sleep early. He sat on the porch and stayed there, thinking about how many conversations he had missed because he was too busy trying to appear strong. How many outbursts he had silenced without realizing it. How much pain he could have alleviated if he had only listened. Then, like someone who makes a solemn decision with his own heart, he said in a low voice, "From now on, I will be the man who listens." It wasn't easy at first. Listening requires something rare: humility. It's holding back your ego. It's accepting that sometimes you have nothing to say, and that's okay. It's about letting the other person exist in the conversation space without trying to correct, fix, or dominate. But something incredible happened over time. His children started talking to him more. His daughter started sharing her anxieties more freely. His friends sought him out not just to chat, but to open their hearts. And the women, they looked at him differently, with respect, with admiration, with desire, because a man who listens conveys security, conveys maturity, and shows that his heart is still alive. Daniel became calmer, more serene, more present, and all of this started because he learned to truly listen. Have you been listening to welcome, or just waiting for your turn to speak? 2, he understood that he no longer needed to win every argument, and that saved many relationships. Daniel always had a sharp tongue. He was quick to reason, good at arguments, and when he got into an argument, he wanted to get the last word. Was almost an addiction, to prove he was right, to show he knew better, to win. But over time he realized something hard. He won arguments, but he lost people. The first time it really hurt was with his wife. They had fought over something silly, a misunderstanding about a commitment. Daniel, as always, armed himself with logic, facts, and an impatient tone. He made her shut up. He made her drop the subject. But when she turned her face away and went to sleep without saying goodnight, he felt it. He won the fight, but he lost the connection. He began to notice the silences, the automatic responses, the glances that looked away. And one day, while talking to an older friend, a wise and calm man, he heard a phrase that stuck with him. There are people who prefer to be right on than to be at peace. That phrase echoed within him. How many times had he done exactly that? Did he destroy the harmony of a conversation, of a moment, just to be right? He began to try something new when he felt like replying, correcting, winning. He took a breath. He held back his response. He listened more. He let the other person finish. Sometimes he even said, "You're right, explain that to me better." At first his pride screamed inside him, but soon the reward came. The conversations became lighter. The arguments became exchanges. His wife started to smile again in the middle of difficult conversations. His friends felt more comfortable around him. Daniel discovered that peace is worth more than reason, that sometimes it is wiser to give in than to confront, and that winning an argument does not mean winning the person. Because in the end, no. One remembers the perfect argument, but everyone remembers how you made them feel. Have you been trying to win or to truly connect in your conversations? Hood. He took care of his body, not out of vanity but out of self-respect, and that made him feel alive again. Daniel was never a fan of the gym, but that morning when he felt dizzy while trying to tie hair sneakers, something woke up. If I keep this up, where will I be in 5 years? It wasn't about having six-pack abs. It was about honoring the body that still carries his soul. He started slowly, 20-minute walks. Every day, at first the body complained, but the mind was grateful. He felt more energetic, he slept better, his mood improved. And do you know what's most interesting? People noticed. "You look different, Daniel. There's something new there." And there really was. He was respecting himself. He changed his diet, his sleep, his routine, not out of vanity, but out of gratitude for life. Because the body is like an old car. If you take care of it, it will take you far. If you ignore it, it will break down along the way. Daniel looked in the mirror and saw a living man, present. Interesting, because a man who takes care of himself shows that he values himself, and those who value themselves are valued. Have you been taking care of your body as a burden or as a gift? Fourth, he made peace with the past and finally felt light inside. Daniel has always kept everything to himself. Grief, guilt, regrets. He thought time would solve it, but the past only stays behind when we resolve it. He had a bad marriage, a brother, who was distant because of a fight, mistakes that still hurt today. All of this kept like a locked box under the bed, until a wake shook him, and the question came loud and clear. How many years do I have left? That night he wrote, name by name, scene by scene, not to suffer, but to free himself. He asked for forgiveness. He called those he needed, and finally, he forgave himself. He said to himself, "You did the best you could. It's okay." And something loosened. He slept better. He smiled more. Even his face seemed lighter. Because when the heart is cleansed, the man is reborn, and the man who lives lightly lives whole. What pain from the past do you still carry, and that it's time to let go? He started to believe in something bigger than himself again, and that gave meaning to everything. For years, Daniel thought that it was enough to work, pay bills, and take care of his children, but deep inside, there was an emptiness. Is that all? Live. And wait for death? The silence of the night screamed, until one rainy morning he heard a man in the square say, "Life only makes sense when we stop wanting to be the center of it." Those words pierced him. A few days later, he entered a church, not out of habit, but out of hunger. And there, sitting on a wooden bench, he cried like he hadn't cried in years. He cried because he missed God. He cried because he missed himself. He cried because he missed the life he had left behind. Daniel found something bigger, and that reorganized everything. He didn't become a fanatic, but he became a man with faith, with roots, with direction, and a man with faith is a man who doesn't get shaken easily. Daniel started living with purpose. He started appreciating the details. He started being a beacon in a dark world. In the midst of all the rush, have you been looking up or just ahead? Did you notice something? Daniel didn't become a different man. He just went back to being who he was, and deep down, he just took the weight off. He made peace with time. He took care of himself and looked up. These 5 secrets are not magic formulas. They are paths, simple, profound, transformative. And you know what's best? You can do it too. Even if your body no longer has the strength it once had, your gaze can still shine, your words can still inspire, your heart can still burn with faith. So tell me, what's stopping you from taking that first step? If this video spoke to you, if any part here touched you inside, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk without beating around the bush, straight to the point about what matters: life, purpose, faith, relationships, truth. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. You can be the push he's been waiting for until the next video. And remember, it's not time that ages you. It's what you do with it that makes you stronger.